Oh, I gotta okay. Hopefully you guys can hear me. This is gonna be a funny one. And I gotta remember, I gotta look up there. I'm gonna do a reaction to reaction. And you know what? I'm gonna turn out that light too. Okay. So, as I figured, there's nobody in here. Because it's just little old me, fresh from the shower. And I needed to do this now, because if I didn't do it now, it would probably never get done. So, Jeff from PTS for Life did a reaction to the interaction I had with a Scientologist at the Seattle Ideal Org on L. Ron Hubbard's birthday, which was Wednesday the 13th. And I had in the moment, I was, okay, who's with me? Better comment so I know who you are. I see you. I see dead people. Then he left. Assholes. Focus, Laura. In the moment, I felt like I was completely out of control and had no idea what the hell I was saying. Like I was making shit up and I didn't know what the hell I was talking about, which kind of, I'm a never-in, so I don't know completely. I have watched a lot of it, but I don't know 100% what the actual doctrine says, right? So when I had the interaction with this gentleman, it was very nerve-wracking for me because normally I don't talk to people about this kind of shit. And I usually, when I encounter people that are not even confrontational, but talk about these kinds of subjects where we have disagreements and I really think they're full of shit, I literally just go, okay, in my head, you're an idiot, and I walk away because I'm not going to waste my life having a conversation with a complete idiot. So afterwards, I had so many questions about, and I should have had this pulled up first. This is going to be funny because I'm going to switch it and I'm going to reverse it and I'm going to switch it and I'm going to reverse it. And I just turned my TV off. And I was going to do this in my room. Fucking life. I was going to do it in my room, but then I remembered my kids had lost the remote in my room for my room TV earlier. Couldn't find it. I'm like, gotta be fucking kidding me. Brought out my ring light. Could not find the cable for my ring light. So I had to go pull the freaking power cord off the back of my printer. And so now I'm in my living room trying to get this set up. Okay, and where should I go? I should go here, and I should go PTS for Life. I'm going to pull up Jeff's video. I need to tag him, but it's stupid that I need to tag him because it's just the polite thing to do, but also everybody that's in my channel should know who the fuck Jeff is, right? Hi, Mandy. This is going to be hilarious. I'm freshly showered. So messy hair, don't care. So I'm going on to Jeff's video. I didn't even check this. Let's check it. Okay. Skipping the ad. Okay. So first of all, you're in bed. I would be too. I was supposed to do it in bed, but my kids lost my TV remote. So the guy just said, you need to go somewhere. go somewhere else and attack somebody else, something like that. Go attack somebody else. And the immediate thing that came to my mind was, oh, so you're a victim? Isn't that really low on the tone scale, is victim? And I couldn't think of the right terminology to use. I just knew that victim was like a bad thing in Scientology. And so here he is. He's playing the victim that we should go attack someone else. So also on the street, I was trying to be very kill him with kindness. And this is the point in time where I'm not going to be nice. So there might be lots of cursey words and shit. Hi there. Hi, Lori B. Hi, sweetie. Okay. So flipping it and reversing it. Flip it and reverse it. And Mandy's telling him that we don't support abusers.
Yeah, because of Scientology.
So this person here with the overcoat and the green hair, that is Mandy, and then the other person is Laura.
And you're wondering why I'm doing it this way? I'm imbuing sweet beans.
Sure.
Yep.
Are you sure about that? Are you sure they've been
I'm not
abused?
Scientology.
That's what he's asking. Are you sure they've been abused? Are you sure they haven't been, you stinky old fart?
Okay, well, Scientology, I've never seen any children abused in Scientology in my 15 years.
That doesn't mean it's not happening.
And what's really funny is there's no children in that work. And I don't know that it's because of the time of day we were there. We were there during like the school day. So if there were any younger underage people, they wouldn't be there at that time. They would be there on the weekends or the evenings. But guaranteed, the youngest person that walked into that building, no younger than 60 or older, at least. More than half of them were at least in their 70s. This gentleman said he was 77.
That's a really good point. I'm not going to try and stop this every 10 seconds.
Stop it every 10
But,
seconds, Jeff. Go into it.
This guy,
Get it.
his argument is he's been in for so long, he's never seen it happen, therefore it doesn't happen. That's not true. I'm sure there's lots of Christian people in church and stuff that haven't seen abuses happen in their church, but it still happens. So
Have you seen $1 million?
one thing that is different about
I haven't seen $1
public
million.
Scientologists as well, and say a staff member
Can
or
you
a
hear the
spirit member,
TV?
is that kind of abuse doesn't necessarily happen as blatantly. So I wouldn't be surprised if this guy was telling the truth, but it's a really, really invalid argument. Let's continue.
Well,
Most of these people live in LA, so they were abused at the ranch.
well, I lived in LA too. I've been a Scientologist for 50 years, and Scientologists helped me incredibly. It's just a wonderful thing. So you guys, you're not Scientologists. You've never read the books, and you don't understand the technology. Maybe you should do that.
I
We're too
understand
stupid
and listen to people
understand the
who
technology.
are abused, and I support that.
Okay, how about all the people who have gains from Scientology?
I don't really care.
Okay.
No.
Okay, I'm going to let Jess speak first because I'm going to speak first. Okay, so Mandy, God bless her. Love you, Mandy. Okay, I'm dying. So what about all the people that have had all the gains? And Mandy's like, I don't care. And in my mind, I'm like, oh, we care. And Jeff goes on to say, I'm like, oh my God, Mandy, don't say that. We care. But then Jeff goes on to say, oh, now I'm going to let Jeff speak. He says something to the effect of, we're not protesting your gains. We're protesting the abuse. It's like, we don't give a shit if you've had gains. We just give a shit that there's abuse. And then after Jeff explains that, I'm like, oh, duh. I was just like, oh, I get it now. Yes, that. We care more about the abuses than your fucking gains. Your gains. And when he's talking about his gains, I want to be like, so what level are you? Can you like move objects with your mind here. Like stop that car. move this teeny tiny rock. That like isn't that what they believe, that they are the messed universe, that they have power over mind, energy, space, and time, or whatever the fuck it is. And okay, if you've been in it for 50 years, you should be rocking that shit, right? You should be Grandmaster Xenu, right? So I'm just like, oh lordy lord, lordy lord. Okay, now let's let Jeff, the reasonable one, explain. Oh,
I
hold
love
on.
that. I don't really care about the people who have games. Like, yeah, that's a good
Fuckity
point.
duckity.
You're not out there
Hold
post-
on. Hold on. I lost shit. Fuck. Check. Okay. Flip it. Accidentally tapped the wrong thing. Okay, there we go. Okay.
protesting gains. You're protesting abuses. And I will say, I want to
Oh,
make
thank
a
you,
comment.
Jeff. Thank you for explaining that
These
to me.
two both,
I didn't get that.
They do such a good job not reacting to what the Scientology said.
And everyone kept saying, you guys did such a good job. You did such a good job. And I'm thinking, we did? Because I didn't feel like I did a good job. I felt like I was like totally, hey, Carrie. Hey, girl. I felt I was just shaking inside because, like I said earlier, normally I do not interact with people like this. Normally I'm just like, well, you're a fucking idiot. And I walk away. Like, I don't confront. And so the fact that Jeff, everyone keeps pointing out, you guys did so good. You guys did so good. In the chat, I was like, we did. And then when Jeff goes and explains, this is why you did, y'all did amazing. I mean, I was shook. I don't do that kind of bullshit because I get angry. I'm a very emotional person. When I get pissed off, I get pissed off. I cry super easily. Like I could cry right now if I really tried, but I'm not going to. Like my emotions, my poor kids, they're like, and so when this guy was like trying to tell us what for, I was like, fuck you. And that's the thing. I really did not want to be like, fuck you, you dumb fuck, you're a fucking fuck face. I like the cursey words. I wanted to kill them with kindness. I wanted to be more respectful and just kill them with facts. I wanted to kill them with kindness and facts and be able to shove their own shit in their face. Okay, Mac done Jeffy Jeff, and this time I'm not going to hit the wrong button.
Kind of negative way and just carrying on with the message. Super impressive.
Thank you.
Have you gotten any gains from Scientology?
50 years, I think it's.
50 years of gains? So tell me this. Can you read a book?
Can I read a book?
Yeah.
Of course.
Have you?
And see, that's Scientology's thing. They're always go read a book. Well, if I can read a book, can't you read a fucking book? Can't you go online and check shit out?
Read, let's say, Mike Rinder's A Billion Years. Have you
I've met
read
him.
Jenna Miscavige's?
I've met all
Beyond
these
Belief?
people.
I've
Over the
met all
15
those
years,
people. I've met them.
You have?
Yeah.
So if you've met
And
them,
do you think
are they
they're,
degraded? Like,
SPs?
are they
Do you think
SPs?
they're like Hitler?
What's this SP?
What?
Yeah, what is
When
it?
he
You're
said
a
that, I just about
Scientologist for
shit
50
my
years.
pants.
I know what it is. You tell me what an SP is.
It's a suppressive person.
Yeah,
Somebody
what-
that speaks out against Scientology.
No. Suppressive person.
That's a lie. He just lied. Yes, absolutely. A suppressive person is someone who speaks out against Scientology. So let's hear this Scientologist once again lie.
And that's one of those moments where I wish I had the doctrine in front of me so I could say, oh, really? Because it says right here in the LRH scripture. But I didn't have that. And I knew he was lying. But I didn't know how to call him out on his lie. I want to get better at this. I don't know how often I'm going to be able to get up there. It's really hard for me to get up there. But something fun to do. Okay, back to Jeffy Jeff.
Through his teeth, for that matter.
Person,
Yeah,
somebody
what-
that speaks out against Scientology?
No. A suppressive person is a person who stops other people from believing what they want to believe. That's what a suppressive person does.
Okay,
They block people from being themselves.
okay. So, Laura Anderson, who left,
Don't know her.
she left the church and her father was forced to disconnect from her.
Well,
How can she be forced to believe what he believes in order to
Well-
speak with him?
what,
For anyone who knows my story, that's exactly what happened to me. And
Just a minute, Carrie Ann.
you'll hear this guy's response, but he just doesn't, he's not hearing what she's saying, and he's not connecting it with anything in reality. He's only seeing what he's seeing, but not the actual truth.
And in reality, I was just grasping at straws because I had so many thoughts in my head going, you're so fucking full of shit. I just reached for the first thing that flew by and it's talking about stuff that flies by. It's Laura Anderson. Lara. Okay, Carrie. And you're wondering why I'm doing this funky ass way. Because I ain't got the shit to do it the normal way. Carrie Ann from Portland says, when Portland Scientologists talk to us, Sea Org comes out and escorts him away. So, at the Seattle org, there are steps. So, there's no steps in the door, but there's steps inside the door, I believe. And so, there's a wheelchair ramp and a wheelchair lift in the back by the parking lot. And I believe the Sea Org members are so old and slow, they can't get out there fast enough. And really, that gentleman was just dropping somebody off. And she tried to get in through the front door and ended up having to go around the back of the building because they had locked the door and were not letting people in through the front door. Or they would let them in and then lock it again behind them. And again, I need to look. It's like only 6 inches, but it's a big difference. Okay, so yeah, I also think it was because it was the first time somebody was out there. It might change in the future. Hello. You're so fucking awesome. Liar. You're so fucking awesome, Kat. Kat on the peninsula. Okay, so Kat, I don't know if you've been here the whole time, but what I'm doing is I'm reacting to the reaction. And I'm expressing the thoughts that were in my head. There were so many thoughts in my head. And I'm also going through, hello from Toronto, up feeling sick with the flu. I should be asleep instead of watching SBTV streamers. You know what, sweetheart? We all have that problem. We all should be in bed right now instead of doing this. But I really hope you feel better, sweetie. Kim, I'm just gonna call you Kim, and it's McNeil. Kimmy Mac. That's it. I got it. So yeah, where were we? I forget. We're just gonna have to go back to Jeffy Jeff. He asked if I wanted to do a live, and I was like, I would love to do a live with you. But then he was like, well, from scheduling point of view, I might just want to, just do a solo. And I was like, okay, because I was like, I didn't want to force him into anything.
Well, I'm not sure about that situation because I don't know this people. But there's tens of thousands of people
Okay.
that I see.
Oh, here we go.
In
Here's
the,
the good
in the
shit.
world, just tens of thousands?
So
Just tens of
Tens of
thousands.
thousands. There it is. Tens of thousands of Scientologists. This is from a guy who's been in for 50 years. And as you'll see him admit later, he's seen it all. So let's hear him say that again, because this is really important. This is big. I've never heard a Scientologist admit this before.
There's tens of thousands of people that believe the same thing that I do. Has he not been going to his big events each year? Has he not been watching the hard work that David Miscavige has been putting forth? Jeff has some great content. I hope to meet him in person soon. Yeah, he mentions coming down to, oh, that's a comment. I was like, there's some weird reflection. He mentions maybe coming back up to Seattle to check shit out again. And I was like, if you come down, I will go up. So yeah, when that guy said tens of thousands, I was like, has he not seen the videos? I've seen the videos. Millions of Scientologists worldwide. And he literally says, there's not 10 million. I was like, oh, he's going to get in trouble. He's going to get in trouble. And I wanted to be like, so you haven't been to your events this year? Haven't you seen all of David Miscavige's hard work, all of his propaganda?
These are thousands of people
Okay.
that I expect in the world.
In the world, just tens of thousands?
Sorry.
Just tens of thousands, not 10 million?
I have 10 million Scientologists,
Yeah.
or are not 10 million?
Rip.
There you go, guys. Like, this guy is just admitting it. There are not 10 million Scientologists. And I just love that Laura is grasping onto this and digging into it, because this is great.
Really, because David Miscavige says there's 10 million
Well,
Scientologists.
maybe there are then. He knows
There's
better than
10.
I.
Okay, so if there's 10 million Scientologists in the world, and there's 150 orgs around the world, do you have 666,000 members coming into this org?
I'm not sure what the membership number is.
Well, let's look. How many people are in there today?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I'm not in there. Weren't you going and find out? Will they let you in?
They won't let me.
Okay.
I thought everyone was
Hey,
welcome.
It's okay for you guys to believe whatever you want to believe.
And it's
That's
okay for you to believe what you want to believe too.
absolutely. Thank you very much.
And you think,
Okay. First of all, my tongue was getting tied and my numbers were getting all shoved in together. So 10 million divided by 150 is 66,666. So I was getting the 666 in there a little too soon. Yes, almighty COB, you know better than me, right? He knows. So I kept saying the wrong number. Forgive me. But still, even, how about we just go, okay, is there 6,000? Is there 6,000 in this org? No. I counted at most 8. 8 people in there. And they were all elderly, all of them. Nobody younger than 60, at least 70s, maybe into 80s, some of them. But again, it was in the middle of the day, like around noonish. So are they going to have more people there on the evening and weekends? I don't know. And then, God, what did he say? I'm going to back it up again, guys. Hold on.
I think it would be over there. And
No, Jeff, it's not over there.
Because David Miscavige says there's 10 million
Well,
Scientologists.
maybe there are then. He knows
There's
better than
10,
I.
okay, so if there's 10 million Scientologists in the world, and there's 150 orgs around the world, do you have 666,000 members coming into this org?
I'm not sure what the membership number is.
But he couldn't give me a
let's
number.
look. How many
He's like,
people are in there today?
I don't know what the
You don't know?
I'm
membership
not in there.
is.
Why don't
Playing
you go in
dumb.
and find out?
Playing dumb.
Will they let
He
you in?
knows.
They won't let
He
me.
okay.
knows
I thought everyone
there's
was
not
welcome.
even
It's okay for you guys
100,
to believe whatever
200
you
maybe at
And
the
it's
most.
okay for you to believe what you
If
want to
he's
believe
lucky,
too.
Absolutely.
there's 200
Thank you
people
very
in
much.
there. Sorry. I hope I'm not talking over this too much. I should have paused that.
There's 10 million Scientologists
Sorry,
in
we're
the
going through
world,
this again
and
because there
there's
was another point I
150
wanted to
orgs
make.
around the world. Do you have 666,000 members coming into this org?
I'm not sure what the membership number is.
Well, let's look. How many people are in there today?
I don't know.
You don't
I'm
know?
not in there. Why don't you go in and find out? Will they let you in?
They won't let me.
Okay.
I thought everyone was
Hey.
welcome.
Oh, I
It's
thought
okay
everyone
for
was
you
welcome.
guys to believe whatever you.
Oh, this is
And it's
That's-
okay for you to believe what you want to believe too.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
So the point I wanted to go with that was it's okay for you to believe what you want to believe. But what's not okay is that you get tax exempt status, that you steal money from the elderly, the Chafes Wave, and just rob people blind and use it as tax exempt money, that you don't take care of your Sea Org members, that you don't take care of the people that are working for you, that you cover up rapes, that your tax exempt money is getting spent hiring PIs to harass victims of rape. That's not okay. That is what's not okay. Do you know what else is not okay? Fucking David Miscavige spending your tax exempt money evading process servers or whatever the fuck they're called so that he doesn't get sued. Sorry, I'm sitting on a very uncomfortable little teeny tiny stool. And that's where I wanted to go with that. It's like, it's okay for you to believe what you want to believe, but it's not okay that this, and this, and this, and this happened. But I didn't have all that lined up in my head, and I don't even now. I would have to have it written down so that I could just... Okay, so, and then he walks away, and then he says something like, good luck on your journey or something. And I was like, well, thank you, because winning. And you can tell because when you joined in the 70s or 80s, however long ago, 50 years ago, so it's 74, right? So if you joined in 74, how many thousands of Scientologists were there in 1974? And how many are there now? How's clearing the planet going right now, dude? Fucking fuckface. Mm-hmm.
And you think it would be over there?
No.
And every Scientologist
No.
should be taught at this point. If they've already had an out.
I could not let
they
him
need to
get the
out of
last
there.
word. I
No,
could not
it
let
carries
him
on.
get the last word.
Good luck now on your turn.
I think our journey's winning.
Push the button,
Push it.
and
Push it.
he comes back.
Push it
I
real good.
I think Scientology is going downhill.
Going downhill.
100%.
You're-
But how old are you? So you've been in it for 50.
Hold on, Kim, I'm reading your comment. When I audit the is that Toronto org? Never more than 30 total public and staff total. They never talk to me like this. Wish they would. I was a kid in the 70s and 80s. So was I, Kim. I'm turning 45 on Saturday. It's a moment for me. So the only reason he stopped and talked to us is because Mandy had a sign. I'm 99% positive that's the only reason he stopped to talk to us, because he looked at it and it said Scientology is a cult with all the names of the I don't know, the receipt, Liz Gale's receipt. And that's the only reason he stopped to talk to us, is because he saw that and he was like, you should go somewhere else. And we're like, fuck that shit. Fuck you. You go somewhere else.
50 years?
Yeah, I'm 77.
Okay, so
He said he was
who's going to take
77.
over the org when you're not here?
I'm not a board staff member.
You're not a staff member?
And this is where I am getting confused. Yeah, the kid in Scientology receipt. Kim, you were a kid in Scientology? Is that what you're saying? Kim, you were a kid in Scientology in the 70s and 80s? Because that would be fucking tragic. I'm sorry, honey. Because being a kid in the 70s and 80s fucking rocked. Pixie sticks and Smurfs. Oh, you're okay now, right, Kim? Let's have a talk. Okay, we can talk if you want, but yeah, this gentleman, he's like, I've been in it for 50 years. I'm 77 years old, and it's like, so when you're gone, when you drop your body, who's gonna take over this? Like, I can't remember where I was gonna go with that. No, that's where I was trying to go with it in that moment. Falling asleep, so I say good night now. Good night. Hey, Carrie. You can catch me later. Oh, and by the way, before Carrie goes, Carrie and I are gonna do a how we got in convo in like 2 weeks, because that's the only time our schedules worked. Or some shit like that. I can't remember. Is it next? On the 25th or 26th, I can't remember. It's a Wednesday, I think. March 26th, I think. Or did we do Monday? I can't remember. That week, because it's during conference week with my kids. In the morning, around 10 a.m. Pacific. Carrie and I are going to do a conversation about how we got sucked into this hole. Scientology kid not rock. I'm okay. My mom was in 50 years when she died this past November, connected with her 4 kids. So you're a kid in Scientology. Kim, you were a kid in Scientology in the 70s and 80s. Your mom was in Scientology, but she had 4 other kids that you were not connected to. Were they Scientologists? Did you get kicked out? Maybe if we have a conversation sometime, if you want to do that. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. I need to focus on what I'm doing here. Not that I don't care. I really care. I'm curious. I want to know. Your story is important. It's trying to say all the things. I'm not good at saying the things. I'm good at being a bitch, but I'm not good at being thoughtful, and I think I'm waking people up. I need to talk quieter. So what did he say? Oh, she disconnected from all her children? Well, fuck her. Sorry. That's a horrible person. Back to the video. I can't even tell. Yeah, this is not a good look, but whatevs. It's almost midnight now, isn't it? I have to go back. Scientology is my ruin. Okay, I think I've heard of your channel before.
I think our journey's winning.
Push the button, and he comes back.
I think Scientology is going downhill.
Going down?
100%.
That's where I wanted to go with when he says he's 77. I want to be like, so you're 77 and you're here still, you're not like, you're still going, like, how like, not like, oh, you're still alive, but like, I thought after you've been in Scientology for 50 years, you would be this almighty powerful being, right? Isn't that what they sell you? And I wanted to be like, well, guess what? You can keep giving them money all you want to, but 9 and 10, they don't exist. I wanted to be like, you've wasted 50 years of your life. You like, if you've been in 50 years and you're 77, like, what's your retirement plan? Like, how much money have you given to these people? How many, in those 50 years, how much of your money have you given to this church? And what have you gotten out of it? Your gains? What the fuck is that? Give me an example. Tell me what you can do. I got this great parking spot here in the front of the org. So did I, jackass. I didn't spend any money to do that except for the $6.50 I paid for parking. Like, yeah, that's where I was going with that. Anyway, back to what we're doing here. Focus. I want to keep pressing the goddamn wrong. There we go. Focusing.
But how old are you? So you've been in it for 50 years?
Yeah, I'm 77.
Okay, so who's going to take over the org when you're not here?
I'm not an org staff member.
You're not a staff member?
I'm a Scientologist.
Okay, so how often do you come in for your auditing?
I don't get audited here.
You don't get auditing?
No,
What level are you?
See, and this is where I was getting confused.
Florida or St. Philip.
Okay, so he says he doesn't go in there for auditing, but he goes to St. Hill or Flag to get auditing. So I'm like, okay, does that make him 7 or 8? But then he comes here for training. So I'm like, what are you training for? And then he's been training to become an auditor. So I'm like, okay, so how long have you been training? How long have you been doing this? Is there ever an end game, or do they just keep, like, you've been at this for 50 years and you just, well, I'm OT 7 or 8 and I'm waiting for the next whatever to come out so I can keep going, the next carrot. And oh, I'm learning to become an auditor. But I've been working at that for 20 years and they keep changing the whatever. Like, that's kind of what I wanted to go with that. Like, you've been doing this for 50 years. How much money have you put into this? And how, like, what are you doing? Are you getting anything out of this?
Okay.
I'm not sure if you guys were able to hear that very well. So he goes to Florida or Flag or St. Hill. And those are advanced organizations, which means this guy is beyond the level of clear, and he is at least on his OT levels. My guess is if he's been in for this long, he's probably OT 7 or 8 or around there.
So you're like 7 or 8? Okay. So did you see 666,000 people at those orgs?
66,000 people,
try it.
Laura, get it right.
Math.
66,000.
If there's 10 million Scientologists in the world and there's 150 orgs, if you divide those, there's supposed to be 666,000 members per org. Are there 666,000 or 66,000 people coming to this org?
And I finally realized I've been saying it wrong the whole time.
Yeah, no, there's not. It's pretty clear. If you're an intelligent human being and you've been around for 50 some odd years, you can do some basic math. You know what 66.
Well, Jeff, you're giving him a lot of credit. Maybe he's not that intelligent.
1,000 people look like. I would guarantee that Seattle doesn't have more than 200 people show up to events. But it's just so amazingly done on Laura's part here.
Thank you, because I didn't feel like I was doing amazing.
It does not add up at all. And we've shown this time and time again. The one disseminator, the field staff member guy who I showed a video of, trying to do math on how we're gonna clear the planet Earth, is like, it's not gonna happen, right? And how this guy can just think about what she's saying and not second guess his decision is phenomenal. But you'll see, this guy doubles down.
I'm not sure how many people come here. I come and do training services here, and I've been doing that for years.
How many people have you trained?
I don't train anybody. I provide services, training services to become an auditor.
Okay. How many years have you been working at that?
I got into Scientology in 1973.
Okay.
So I've been in Scientology.
So that's what I was trying to get. He keeps going back, well, I've been in Scientology for 50 years. And I'm like, so you've been training to become an auditor for 50 years and you're still not a fucking auditor? That's what I wanted to get at. like how long do you have to train to become an auditor?
Since 1973. I've gone 2 or 3 years with no services. I've gone years with services every year. So it's totally.
Okay.
And the people, the gains that one gets in Scientology is a real personal thing.
I'm going to stop right there because this is really interesting. I forget I think it was Natalie's live when she was talking about people getting gains and stuff from Scientology, but no one can actually say what it is. And this guy's trying to explain that the gain.
And that's what I couldn't wrap my head around either, because he keeps talking about these gains. And what I should have asked was, give me a specific example of what your gains are. Give me an example. Can you fly? Are you fucking Superman? Like, what? Name one. Give me one gain.
Are plentiful. He's had many of them over the years, but he can't actually nail down anything specific. And I think this is interesting. And then he goes on to explain here, like you just said, the gains are personal. So there's nothing specific. And yet there's a whole grade chart, a bridge to total freedom. And every single point you're supposed to get a very specific thing. So you should be able to say a very specific gain, but no.
And this is kind of why I wanted to do it with Jeff, but whatever. We didn't do it together. But Kim, maybe if you know, what are the specific gains? Like, if he's OT 7 or 8, he should be able to what? Like, roll a ball with his powers? Like, what kind of gains are we talking about here? Is he supposed, and no, they're supposed to help with communication, but at least he's talking. So I just don't know what the specific, there's always something more to do in Scientology. The most my clear mother would say is it made her more able, vague still. Able to do what? Able to, like able to do what? Without Scientology, you wouldn't be able to get an education? Like, you wouldn't. Yeah, I need to be, when I go back up there, I hope to be more like, that's why I want to go over this, is so that I can come up with responses faster in my head, in responses that would have a more impact on them. But then again, I really don't give a fuck if they feel, maybe leap tall buildings. Yes. I would like that too. But that old fart doesn't look like he's leaping over, the curb, let alone a building. Told you I was going to be mean. But yeah, I want to be able, I don't know if I give a shit, because at the end of the video, he says, nothing you say to me will convince me otherwise. And that's why I let him go. Like, I didn't push the button again. Because I was like, yeah, nothing I say to this man is going to convince him otherwise. I don't give a fucking shit about this old fart. He's going to be dead in 6 years at most, So what I do care about is them abusing kids, which I pray to God it's because even Jenna Miscavige said the cadet org and the way kids were in Scientology when her and Laura and those guys were in Scientology doesn't exist anymore. But there's still kids getting abused by Scientology, like the way Kelly did and the way Liz did by getting the auditing from their parents, blah, blah, blah. So those kids I care about. And I think, yeah, sorry, my eye itches. Total cause over her life. Like, what the fuck does that mean? Like, I know what, I know Scientologists know what that means, but explain it to me. What does that mean? So, like, I should say to this gentleman, so you have cause over your life? So then why am I here? Why am I in front of this door, in front of this org? Is that what it's like? But yeah, I don't give a shit if this guy's saved. I don't. I give a shit that they're using their tax exempt money to harass people, to buy off the police, to buy buildings that they're not paying taxes on. And if you look at my shorts, oh no, it's not a short. It's a video I uploaded. Sorry guys, I got it up really good. Here, hold on, I got an eye boogie. It's bugging me. If you go in my videos and you look, I walked by the Life Center on 3rd and Pine, I think it is. I was scared. Like, it was disgusting. Are they paying taxes on that building? I don't think they own the building. And this is the kind of shit I don't have time to look into, or the patience. I just don't have the fortitude to dig into it. It's something that I don't have the mustard for. But the building, it's not even a building. It's like a storefront. And it's got a door and a window with some books in it and some pretty like architectural drawings of the new org. And it probably says, I didn't want to stop. Like, I seriously feared for my life. I was like, I am not stopping here. And I gotta remember to stay here. See, what needs to happen is I need to cover my face because I'm talking to myself. And if they're getting that building tax exempt, all that money should be going to pay for the homeless people that are outside the building. That's the kind of shit that I care about. You can't be using your tax exempt money that should be going for these homeless people to pay to harass rape victims. That's the shit that I care about. Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent. I did not intend for this to be an hour fucking long video
Scientologists
for a
can't.
10-minute reaction
Understand that you
video.
don't like Scientology. That's, you'll do whatever you want to do, and you should do whatever you guys want to do. But you shouldn't attack people for their religious beliefs.
I'm not attacking you, you
When
old
you've never
fart.
tried it. I mean, that's not fair.
Okay.
It's not
Something
fair.
that abuses people.
It's not fair.
Disconnection is abusive.
It's not fair. See, that's when I wanted to say, it's not fair. So you're a victim? Are you telling me you're a victim? Oh, isn't that really low on the tone scale? Victim, wah. Us standing here out on the curb with a sign of people that were abused as children is attacking you.
But the forced child
Hey,
labor
hey,
is
if your
abusive,
father-
and the cover-up of sexual assault is
Excuse
abusive.
me.
And so this is Mandy, I believe it is, talking.
And in the moment, when you listen to the video, it sounds like Mandy's getting really like upset and heated and starting to yell and get upset at him. But when I was standing there next to her, I did not feel, that's not how I heard it. It was so weird to come back and listen to it now. And even I'm listening to myself and I'm like, wow, I sound like a bitch. And I was like, but I was talking really nice to him in my head.
Now, catching up in the conversation, this doesn't go well for him.
If your father beat you up every day,
My father's dead, and I actually did get beat up on my grandmother.
okay,
And
so
the
do you
church.
still hang out with your grandmother?
No, not really.
Okay,
Because abuse.
not very good.
And I stopped going to my church because of abuse.
Okay, so people,
Mandy, I disagree. Well, let me say, I kind of disagree and I don't disagree. His OT power should confront and shatter you and Mandy into silence. If he really did have OT powers, that's probably what should have happened. Correct. Yes. But OT powers are a figment of L. Ron Hubbard's imagination. And he should not shut up. He should keep talking because he's just digging himself a hole. So your OT powers suck balls.
It's like, that's like Scientology, they feel they get abused, they don't have to.
They don't, but then they have to leave their families.
No, not necessarily.
Yes, we
Yes, necessarily. Just going to clarify that. I want to go back to what he was saying there. So his response to her saying that she was abused and, you know, bad stuff happened to her, he's not concerned with that at all, about the reality of it. All he's concerned is, oh, I just made my point, that you're not going to talk to someone who's abusing you. But I was disconnected from my dad. My dad disconnected from me. I didn't abuse him. I didn't do anything to him. I was barely even in touch with him. So this argument doesn't hold a lot of water. It sounds like it kind of does, but it does not.
do. It is written in the policies to disconnect.
Oh, the disconnection policy. Well, you have to look at, you don't have to leave the church, you just don't get processing when you're connected to a person. Because
So because that car went by, I can hear it pretty well what he said. He's basically saying that you don't have to disconnect from the church if you're disconnect from someone. If you're connected with an SP, you have to get processing to handle it, which is not true. If you're connected with a suppressive person, you can't get processing. You're not allowed to. So just to clarify that.
Bonnie,
Love you too, Kat. So that was another thing. Like, I wish I knew that from Jeff, that, you know, I knew he was wrong, but I didn't know how he was wrong, the gentleman, because I knew you did have to disconnect, but I didn't know, because Jeff clarifies it, like why you have to disconnect. But then I also wanted to be, okay, if he has to get processing, so he can stay connected to his family, like how much more thousands of dollars is that going to cost him? How many $1,000 more is he going to have to pay to get processed so he can stay connected with his family, just because they don't believe in Scientology anymore and speak out against it? Can't we just agree to disagree? And
Can you hear him?
connected to a suppressive person. Because you're being here. Stop sleeping. Yeah. That's what the cameras.
oh, and I just about
There
shit
have
my
been
pants
a
here.
lot of assaults against protesters
I had
and so
the
we
full
have to
drawers.
in LA. Oh my gosh.
Chicago.
Yeah, I've been.
The LA Police Department it doesn't do.
Could you hear it in my voice? Oh my God. In my brain, I'm thinking, where the fuck have you been? Is your head in the sand? Like, or just 10 feet up your ass? Oh, where? What? In hindsight, he's an old man. He's not on TikTok. So, and I know the legacy media is not exactly covering this shit, right? And we've all gone down the SPDV Scientology rabbit hole. So we know this shit's going on. He's not going to know that's going on. So it's great the Neverend supporters like yourself are clever at learn as much as possible about COTs without getting in. Yeah, I want to be able to beat them with their own bat. I want to be able to shut them down with their own shit. So that's kind of they're stirring about. I think I'm waking my sister up. He has no fucking clue what's going on in LA. I live such an isolated life myself, but I'm isolated in this SPTV little rabbit hole, right? So I know what the fuck's going on. So is it me because I'm in this whole rabbit hole of SPTV that I know what's going on and 99% of the world doesn't? Or is it just him because he's an old fart and a Scientologist that doesn't know what's going on? So that's kind of what I want. I want to make signs that say curious with all the ats. I want to make a sign that says, what's your, for the people inside. He's not actually allowed to know, nor is he allowed to search and investigate. Yeah, I know, but sometimes you can't avoid that shit, you know? So I think it's just not out there in the general public. We only know what's going on because we're in SPTV, right? That's why we gotta like and share. Should I email it to him? But I want to make a sign that says, like, what's your retirement plan? And then on the backside, somehow have like a QR code that takes people to Mike Brown's videos with Rosemary. Or just have a search at Mike Brown on YouTube, like whatever. And I want to have, my notes are on my phone and I use my phone for my camera. What was the other thing I wanted to say? I can't remember now. There was another thing I wanted to make a sign about, and I'm losing people. Sorry, people. I'm a talker.
Good thing, because Scientology pays them off.
You guys are speaking.
It's all recorded.
It's all on video.
Okay, so why doesn't the police come in?
Because Scientology's catching.
It's literally in plain sight. People have shown, look, this person assaulted me, and the person that was assaulted was arrested.
What do you mean, the person who assaulted?
This guy is trying to make sense of this, and he is not able to. I love this. You can see the look on his face when he's like, wait, the LAPD are not doing.
And he's like, the person that assaulted the Scientologist, like, a Scientologist would never attack anyone. And they're not exactly Scientologists. They're people paid by Scientology. So that is a little, splitting of hairs. But you know what I mean? He's acting like Scientology would never attack anybody. We're innocent in all this bullshit.
Like, this doesn't make sense. And this is amazing to me that this guy is able to just separate everything. And this is what brainwashing does, though, guys. Like, yeah, it's crazy. But they continue to dig into this and tell the guy truth, which I love. Love it.
The Scientologist?
No, the Scientologist was never assaulted. The Scientologist assaulted the protester. The protester was
They should
arrested.
have never done it.
They shouldn't.
Yes, I would never.
And that's why we have the cameras, so that we can protect
So
ourselves.
you're not gonna like post this as.
Oh, no, it's
So you're
live.
not going
I
to
just
post
need
it.
to
Oh, no,
post
it's fucking live.
Yeah.
Asshole.
And it's for protection.
And it's 100% so we can protect
You guys
ourselves.
should do it.
We should.
How about you? You're gonna have us.
This part coming up, it's a little hard to hear, guys. I wasn't able to get this clean enough and loud enough, but we'll just carry on.
So were you original Catholic?
I was Catholic.
Yeah, I was too. Did you go?
So he said he was originally Catholic.
Say, at what age do you think you switched up?
The old guy said he was originally Catholic. So you're not Catholic anymore? You can't be Catholic and Scientologist? I thought Scientology accepted all religions.
Always like, you're saying, yeah. You know, like, you know, yeah, it's because their parents are allowing you to have. I have never met a child.
You should
You
try.
check out this list.
People.
This list are all
I
people.
listen to these guys, these people. I've never personally seen Scientologists abuse.
Just because you haven't seen it doesn't mean it doesn't happen.
That 50 years, these guys are a few years.
Again, he's coming up with this. It's such a messed up way of thinking about something. I didn't see it. I've been around for a long time, but I didn't see it. So it doesn't exist. It's sticking your head in the sand.
So in hindsight, I wish I would have been able to let go. So when you started doing your auditing back in the 80s and 90s, you didn't request a 14-year-old girl and pay extra for her to do your auditing while you're at Flag. There were no minors, and I think he's thinking children. Like children. 14-year-olds can be very tall. He's not, we need to say minors, not children. People under the age of 18. So, sir, you're telling me you never had a 16-year-old audit you? You never had a 16-year-old say, go ahead and get comfortable, sir. Unbutton your pants. Take off your shoes. Let me ask you about your look. Dick. Moving on, I'm going to throw up.
It's a terrible argument. And I love that they're calling him out on this.
I've never ever seen Scientologists abuse.
So they're all lying.
So if we can read books, can you go online and look things up? Are you allowed to do that?
Sure, I can go online and look things up.
Please go onto YouTube.
I've
The
read
church
I've
told my
read
dad-
the
okay.
anti-Scientologists.
So one of the children is in my live right now, and the church told her that her dad was dead, and that was a total lie.
I don't know what happened. Maybe she was lied to.
She was like to buy the church.
Maybe she was. Maybe she just.
I need
saying
to
that.
quit saying
Or you
church.
could-
And there you go, guys. Maybe she's just saying that. I mean, I think they're referring to Liz Ferris.
We were
And
referring
her
to
dad,
Liz
Bob
Ferris.
who she was under the impression that he was not alive. And they lied to her for years. And he's trying to defend them. Like, it's disgusting. This guy is absolutely nuts. And he admitted just a second ago that he's looked at all the anti-Scientology stuff, which is weird to admit on camera, first of all. But he must have gotten some sort of ethics handling for doing that. You know, that's what happens.
I think he was just saying that to brush it off. I don't think he's actually looked. He's like, whatever. I've looked at their name. I don't care. He hasn't looked at their story. He's just trying to brush it off like he doesn't care. Also, back to the thing where he was saying, I've never seen a child get abused in Scientology. I wanted to be like, then why are there cans for the e-meter small enough for a 4-year-old to hold? If that's true, why? And then he'll say something like, oh, well, auditing is an abuse. So it's okay for somebody to ask a child inappropriate questions in a locked room in a hotel.
I'm actually surprised this guy is going to the advanced organizations when he's admitting stuff like this, because usually looking at anti-Scientology stuff will bar you from doing further, like, higher level stuff. But perhaps this guy donates lots of money. Let's continue.
Go online and look at her story for yourself.
He's telling
Why
him to
don't you
read a
do
book
your
again.
research and go online and look.
Listen, you know what?
This is the sad part.
Now, 50 years, I've heard it all. I've seen it all. I am a Scientologist. Whatever you say will never change me, because you know why? Because I know I'm a fake. And I know that I'm not this body. And I know that I go on after I die. I'll go on to another life. And I know that nothing you can say is going to change my mind.
Okay,
This is standard cult response, and just one more piece of evidence that this is just a cult. This guy says no matter what you say.
And I think I'm going to stop it there. Yeah. When he said, I'm a Scientologist, I know I'm a Thetan, I know after I drop this body, I will go on to another life, and nothing you can say will change that. I was just like, okay, why am I still talking to this guy? I don't give a fuck about this guy. But I also wanted to say, you can believe what you want to believe. You can believe all the bullshit you want to believe. You can believe that unicorns fart rainbows for all I care. But what I do care about is children getting abused, Scientology weaponizing the police force to hide their crimes for, and I hate when we say, oh, you're hiding your crimes. That's a fucking Scientology thing to say. I hate it when we say that. We need to come up with another term. Like, because we're actually talking about crimes, right? Scientology is talking about just talking out against Scientology. So yeah. Yeah, I wanted to be like, but I just also wanted to let him go. I wanted to be like, you're that's sad and pathetic. You've spent 50 years in this religion. I also wondered if he had any kids. Like, does he have any kids? Are his kids in Scientology? Has he disconnected from his children because they left? But then he would say, would he say, because he said earlier, disconnect, you don't have to disconnect. You just have to get processing, right? Would he say, yeah. So maybe he has family that's still in Scientology. Maybe they're under the radar. Maybe they don't. I don't know. It's sad. I felt bad for him in a way, but also not. I feel bad for him now, but in that moment, you did good. Keep doing what you're doing. Thank you. You're welcome, sweetie. Like I said, I don't know how often I'm going to be able to get out there because it's hard for me to get out anywhere. I don't get out much. But yeah, in the moment, I wanted to say, well, you're a fucking dumbass. But now looking back, like, I feel kind of sorry for him. He looked sad. Now that I'm looking at it, he looked upset and sad when he's saying, when I drop the body, I know I'm going to go on to a new life. Which is fine. You can believe that. You can believe that all you want to. But that doesn't give your, I hate calling it a church, your cult, the right to harass people, to cover up real crimes, rape, abuse, to force people into indentured servitude, to put them in a position where they can't leave. Like they feel like they don't have any other option but to stay. Yeah. Okay. Well, that went dark, as Reese would say. That got a little dark. But anywho, I reacted to the reaction. And what would be super funny is if somebody came back and reacted to my reaction of the reaction. And I'm noticing my teeth look really yellow. I swear they're not that yellow. Have to fix that. Okay. I did not intend this to be an hour and 10 minutes long. but it ended up being an hour and 10 minutes long. So thank you to whoever joined in. And yeah, like I want to get other, like I want to send it to Liz Gale and ask her, but she's been kind of, I think she needed some time. I think she's a little overwhelmed with the list. She's, yeah, she needed time for herself, which is totally cool. But I appreciate Jeff. Thanks, Jeff. PTS for life for doing the reaction. Like I said, I had a lot of questions. Like I was confused at that part where he's like, I come here for training. And I'm like, yeah, but how long have you been training to become an auditor? That's what I was trying to ask him. Like he wasn't understanding my question, but I also wasn't understanding the answer he was giving. Because he kept being like, well, I've been in Scientology for 50 years. And I'm like, yeah, but you've been trying to become OT8 for 50 years. And now what? Like, yeah, I don't get it. All right. Anywho, good night. I'm going to go to bed now.